Okay, yeah, this is it. It's happening. You're here. You made it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to day one, number one. Man, this is exciting. I had no idea that this would be happening. I didn't think it would be happening this soon, to be honest. I started out that little introduction thing yesterday, but now here we are doing a micro episode to start this out to see if I'll shit my pants and freeze and not know what to do going forward. But as of now, I'm feeling strong. I'm starting off good, and yeah, I haven't had any coffee today. I just had a little egg sandwich, a little fried egg action. And here's the thing: if you're doing a fried egg, you don't want to make it using that Pam cooking spray bullshit. You want a little spray of olive oil in the pan, and then you throw down some butter in that. You don't even mess around. You throw some good butter, legit real butter, I'm saying. You throw that down in the pan, and then you crack your egg on top of it when you see it start to bubble up a little bit, and you know it's hot, and you know you're gonna have a solid fried egg. Just as some advice, since you asked. But but yeah, that's how I do the fried eggs. So day one, what are we gonna talk about? I'm thinking fear management and anxiety during cancer treatments. And there goes the viewership. But no, I think it's something that's really important, and I think it's something that needs to be discussed, and it's something that could potentially benefit a lot of people. So we're going to go there. We're going to talk about it. And my diagnosis is a pretty scary one because it is kind of a rare tumor. So this is something that I've been dealing with on the daily, and I'm thinking, why not spread that love a little bit? Why not, share some of my secrets with the people. So, how do I deal with anxiety when it is coming on so heavily, and I'm so afraid of dying, and all that heavy stuff? Well, let me tell you. The first thing I do usually is I do a gratitude check. And if you're hearing voices in the background, we've got some people cleaning right now. This is a terrible time to start this, but I, I was like laser focused. I was ready to go. I'm in the zone. But but yeah, so I do a gratitude check, and I really check and see how I'm feeling. Um, and usually it's if I'm doing something like this, it's not because I'm feeling good. So, but I check and I say, okay, how am I doing? Okay, not good. What am I afraid of? I always ask that first, and usually it's the fear of death. It's the fear of dying. But that is something that is so far out of all of our control that it really isn't super rational to be feeling that way. You have to acknowledge the fear. You have to acknowledge that, yes, I'm feeling this way for a reason. It's valid, but you cannot allow that fear to overwhelm you to the point where you're catatonic, to the point where you're unable to function. Because I don't know, what's the point of living if you're just terrified of dying? So that's something I do, and when I say the gratitude check, that comes after. I think about all the things that I'm grateful for: my friends, my family, all of your loved ones, and I really just thank the universe or God or whatever it may be for you, thanks it for all of the good experiences that I've had with those people and all the good experiences that I've had in life, in general. So that's what I mean when I say gratitude check, and it's something that I've found to be very beneficial. So hey, give it a shot. It might work for you. It might not. I don't know. Let's see. I've got a little list in front of me because it's like a little cheat sheet. Because I started doing this earlier today, and I was like, well, I'll just wing it. It'll be fine. But I'm not able to do that very well. It's difficult for me to sit down and just start yapping into a microphone with nothing to talk about. So, um, I figured make a little list. The first one was talking about fear management and anxiety. The second one is a hard left turn. It's The Lord of the Rings. It still has to do with fear management and anxiety because it's my coping mechanism. But oh wow, what do you know? I'm getting a call from Stanford right now. Man, that's frustrating. Well, I'm gonna have to take this, so we're gonna do a quick little pause here. Well, speak of the devils, and they shall appear. Sorry about that. It was nothing for you, but for me, it was a long phone call talking about prescriptions and talking about cancer stuff, which I was doing here anyway. So I don't know. It just kind of manifested that phone call from Stanford, but hey, I'll take it. It wasn't a bad phone call. It was just a checkup, so everything's good. But what I was mentioning before, but the Lord of the Rings is that it's been a coping mechanism for me. It's been something that I've been using because it's a story that's just so timeless. It's about good versus evil, and when you're dealing with something that's traumatic and that is difficult to understand and wrap your head around and to kind of see super clearly, it helps to have a media outlet that kind of reflects the similar things that you're going through. So for me, it's been the Lord of the Rings. That's been a huge kind of morale boost watching those movies. And so I did something a little out there, and I purchased a screen accurate One Ring from the Lord of the Rings. It's made by Weta Workshop. They actually made all the props for the movies. I'm not sure about the Amazon show, by the way. I watched a couple episodes, and I don't know how I feel about it. I got a lot to say about it. I haven't seen enough of it to make a super informed opinion, but from what I saw, I wasn't blown away. It was cool. It looked amazing. God damn, it's a great looking show. But story wise, I wasn't captivated. I wasn't hooked. Nothing pulled me back in for more, and I was 2 episodes in. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Lord of the Rings. I really am, but that show just couldn't pull me back into the Middle Earth in the way that I think it thought it was. Kind of disappointing so far, but that's just one man's opinion. So yeah, I got the One Ring hanging from my neck right now. It's gold plated, made from tungsten. I mean, it's sick. It's super dope, and it's very symbolic for the journey that I'm going on. Because in many ways, it feels like I'm headed straight to Mordor. I mean, I got a pretty heavy burden that I have to bear. So, with that in mind, I think it made sense that I splurged a little bit and I got a little something for myself. What else have I been doing? I've been drinking tea. I've been a tea drinker. I drank this jasmine tea the other day, and it made me feel amazing. It made me feel so good. So I think I'm going to be ending up on a tea kick. But who would have thought? I'm trying really hard to make sure that this isn't just rambling for no reason. I want to make this an outlet that makes sense. That isn't just a complete waste. So I'm going to play a little bit of music now. I'm going to do a little bit of, not me. It's not going to be me playing music. I don't even, you know what? Maybe I'll cut this out. Maybe I won't do that. I just don't know how to kind of spice things up a little bit. Do I make this a 10-minute long thing each day? Or do I just blabber on for hours? Also, I'm not going to lie, that call just kind of threw me off the game, because I was doing really well and they called me. And it's when you get a call from the doctor and you're in my position, it's oh boy, what do they want now? They want my blood. They always want your blood. Just got to take a minute and compose, which is also on my list of things to talk about. Taking a minute and just kind of breathing and composing yourself when you're dealing with heavy stuff is super, super beneficial. I mean, I don't know about other people, but for me, when I just kind of stop and breathe, everything kind of settles, and you're able to kind of make a plan of action moving forward. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I will have more interesting things to say. But for now, I mean, man, am I at a loss? I don't know what to do. This is falling apart. We'll be back. Take it easy. There's something out there, in the darkness, floating in the void. Okay, this is it. We're back from lunch. That was a quick little break that we took there, but it was necessary. I had kind of gotten thrown off my game a little bit by that phone call, and then I had a meeting with more doctors and this and that, and it's one of those things that just gets exhausting after a while. But now I'm back, got the energy, and yeah, you know what, feeling pretty good. Kind of wanted to touch more back into the what we were talking about before we took a break, but before we do that, I'm gonna let you know what I had for lunch. I had some wontons, and they were fried up pretty good, and had them with a little bit of soy sauce. And man, let me tell you, that was next level stuff right there for all of those who were interested in what I was eating. I want to talk a little bit about finding ways to keep distracted when you're dealing with overwhelming thoughts or things in your life which are out of your control, which seem to be taking over all of your thoughts and just being extremely invasive and intrusive, and making you have some negative emotions and all that. Photography for me is good because it allows me to step outside of what I'm dealing with and focus on just that one image. Um, I've been doing photos now for a few years. It's been a little bit, and it's been a hobby up until recently. I was working for the university that I was going to, taking pictures for them. But yeah, it's been really good, and leading up into this diagnosis, I was working as a photographer, and man, it was a really interesting job to have. It was really cool because you got to live through the lens, if that makes sense, which sounds corny as fuck now that I'm saying it out loud, but I mean, it was really interesting. I'm trying to think about how to keep this show going here. It's That's one of the most difficult parts about this, I think, is that I'm really going to need to have a plan for how I do this. Like, I've got like a little Google Doc sheet open, and that's nice and all, but like, I got to be a little bit more prepared than that when I come back for on the air and doing this, because the way I'm doing it is like I'm doing it live, basically. Like I'm turning it on, and whatever comes out comes out, and I just got to make it happen. And it's a lot of pressure to put on myself, and I think one way to kind of relieve some of that pressure is going to be really planning out the day before. So like when I'm doing the show, that I'll be doing the show and then it'll be done, but then I will be immediately moving on, preparing for the next show for tomorrow or for, whenever it is. And it might be that it's more than an everyday thing. My original plan was like, man, I'll just hop on here every day. But to, I think, establish a listening audience, I'm going to need to do a little bit more than that, than just being on every day. I'm going to need to have something to say. And I think it's going to be a lot of advice towards people who are dealing with cancer or dealing with something that's just extremely difficult. I think that's going to be the best way to gain a small audience and then move on from there. So today's show was short. It's going to be short. I'm going to figure out tomorrow's or the next day's. And I'll have some content on here that's actually kind of worth listening to, because as of now, it's not that it isn't, but I'm gonna probably have to bring some people on, and just have more conversational content, because it can't just be me. I don't know if I have what it takes to just single-handedly carry such an impressive show. It's not a cakewalk. It isn't. Did you ever do those cakewalks? We used to have, oh man, here's a memory. My elementary school every fall used to put on a carnival, and it was like the best carnival as a little kid ever. It was so much fun. And they had a cakewalk there. I distinctly remember it. It was in the quad, and everybody got a piece. Well, not everybody did get cake, huh? I don't know. But it was a good time. You'd get your cake, and then you'd move on, and it was just full of sweets. It had a raffle, and I don't know. It was a good time. It's a little difficult to not leave dead air on your. See what's new, what's to talk about. I'm like at a loss. So I think we're gonna end it here. I think I'm going to say that's a wrap on this episode. If you've stuck with it, good. I need to start, like giving people awards if they listen through the whole time, because that is like seriously next level stuff. I don't know how to thank you enough. If you have, um, yeah, thanks. If you haven't, I don't blame you. I really don't. It's a little bit of a lot of dead air today. But, that's just the way it goes sometimes. And I promise that I'm going to be doing everything I can to be a little bit more prepared and have things to speak on going forward for the next episode. So thanks so much. Take it easy. Take care. Hold your loved ones close. Tell them you love them. And goodbye.